Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Harika. So we have seen the part 1 and part 2 of app creation demo in UiPath VB Apps. So now we are going to see the part 3, which is about how you can actually display the whole content. So I have already shown you, right? So let me just quickly show you the entity also. In the previous video we have seen. So if at all you're watching this part 3 without having any prior knowledge on part 1 and part 2, so I would highly recommend you to go and please watch the previous parts, because otherwise it will not give you a complete idea about the use case. So yes, going back to entities, so as I have mentioned you, how we can actually pull up all this information, right? So we need item and the price. Shoes is this much, chair is this much, popcorn is this much. So I want all this information whenever I am trying to check the total balance. Let's say if my total balance is 2 lakh rupees, but I wanted to understand how much I've spent on the total items at any point of time. As I've mentioned you, we can display all those values also. So how can we do that? I'll quickly show you. Okay, so in this container, what I'm going to do, I am going to take a button. Okay, let's pull a button. Sorry, I have taken a radio button, it seems. Okay, so let's delete this button and then pull the normal button over here. Okay, so once after I take the button, just change the text of this to show all expenses. Okay, it's gonna give me the list of all the expenses. So I have created a page container here, and also one more other thing is this page I have just created, this page that contains a layout and just a small header and this information. So what I am going to do here is, in this particular the layout, I am going to include the edit grid. Okay, so what is edit grid and how it actually works and all of that information. If you want to know, I have made a clear explanation video for edit grid already on my channel. So I'll show you. Let me show you how you can reach out to that. So if you go to my channel in the playlist, if you go to UiPath VB Apps playlist, here you can see a complete video on edit grid. Okay, so this video will give you a whole idea of what edit grid is and how you can use, what are the benefits, how you can edit a particular record, how you can add the records, how you can delete the records, how you can search the records, or everything I have explained with a clear explanation. So you can just check out this particular video, which will give you the complete idea about edit grid. So here I'm going to talk a little bit about the edit grid. So yes, going back to the previous topic. So now let's see this part. Okay, so I'm going to do this one. So before to that, what I have done here, I have talked about the page container. So this page container, I'm going to pass the value of this particular page. So I'll show you how you can do this. So in this page, I'm going to this page. In this page, I am going to, this is the whole container that I have. Okay, style have horizontal. So what I do is I'll just pull a edit grid here. Okay, let's pull a edit grid after back or something like that. Okay, is this a new container? Let me just check that. Okay, this is one container. Inside this container, we have two layouts. So inside this layout, I have a container, right? So I have my edit grid also inside this. Okay. So instead of that, what I'll do, I'll just keep a header horizontal. Okay, so that we all can see what's there, what's coming up there. So nice. This is what I'm doing. So for this edit grid, first thing we have to link the data source. So from the, how can I actually link the data sources? I just can directly, go to the query builder and I can select the entity. So what happens is, as soon as you click on it, you can see the name of the columns getting changed. So if you just delete them, It is column heading, right? But if you add the particular entity here, right? So you can see them getting added, item and the price. So all these values will be getting added. Perfect. So after that, what you can do is you can just add the items, like you can see the items here. Okay, so let's preview this and I'll show you how this actually works. Okay, before to that, I also wanted to showcase one thing. So let's go back. No problem. Just because see, if you have just designed that in this page, but if you want that to be displayed in the page container, you should have a trigger, right? So in the events, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a trigger, open a page. Okay, so what page it should open? This expense detail page, either in the page container or in the different page, different, I mean like in the different page completely. So I'm opening in a different page, not in the page container, because it looks clumsy. Okay, so let's view this. Okay, perfect. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on show all expenses. So as soon as I click on that, it has taken me into a different page. And here we can see the cumulative expenditure, all of the items that are there in my data service, right? So here you can see all of them. So, and if you see, if I wanted to edit, so let's say I'm deleting flights and then just giving some gibberish. And then if I click on edit, update, it's not changing, right? If I'm clicking on delete record, it's not happening. The record is not getting deleted. Let's say if you want to add, that's not happening. And also there's no option to search. So why? I'm going to tell you now. Let's go to the main page again. You have to do some changes because the edit grid that you were using is very raw right now, right? So in order to make the changes, what you have to do is in the edit grid, okay, so there's an option right here. You can see there's a search option, right? So for that search option, you have to make it true. That means you can be able to search it. You have to enable that to true. Okay, you have to enable it to true. And after that's done, if you go to events, there are 4 events. One is row selected, row added, row modified, and row deleted. So these 4 events, if you wanted to update them, you have to create the rules. So what are the rules that you can create? So let's say the row selected. Okay, so what is the rule that you can set when you select a row, right? So you have to set the value of that particular row, whichever row that is selected, you have to set the value. So for setting the value, let's go and create a variable, because if you are setting a value, you should have the variable into which you have to set it. So I'm creating an entity variable, because the entity variable is the whole thing that we are referring to, right? So let's say why I'm taking it as an entity variable is because see, this is a whole entity, and then in that entity this is a record. So which row is selected, that is the my interest. Okay, so which row I'm selecting, that record, that particular variable is this. So you can just keep it as a record variable also, or which row variable also you can just keep to make it more sense, right? And from which entity, this is the entity. Just create it. Done. So now set the value to which is the value that you wanted to change it to. Row variable, right? So this row variable contains what is the value that it should contain. So here for that, I'm just writing a syntax. Just remember this main page dot. In the main page, we are taking it from which page? Sorry, not from the main page, sorry. This is from expense details page, right? So from expense details page, I'm taking from edit grid, and inside edit grid, I'm having a selected item, right? Dot item, whatever the item that we have selected. Okay, and also if you see here, it is a string cannot be converted into budget app entity. Okay, so fine. Let's do one thing. So, I'll just keep it as it is and then I'll save. So here, let's check what is the data type. Variable name is budget type entity, and cannot be converted. Value of the string cannot be converted into. Okay, so here it's expecting, just a second. Oh, yeah. So we are not taking the dot item because we are taking the whole selected item. So this will be the issue. So just save this. Perfect. So we are taking that whole row for the modifier. So now what we are doing again, when we are, first thing is we are selecting that whole row, and the next thing is adding the item. So here we don't have an item already, we are adding a particular item, right? So for this what we have to do, we should take individual items, right? So we should not take something like how we have taken in the with respect to the row. Here the criteria is different. Here we have to select that particular items that we wanted to add. So for adding it, let's not go with the set value, we can just do a create entity record, right? So what, in which entity we have to update it, budget app entity, and inside that we have two items. So what is the first item we should update it with? So here the that particular value comes in. So we have expenses detail page dot edit grid dot. Here it's not the selected item again. Here we have the new item. What are the new item that gets added? New item dot that particular item, because it will add only the item value, or it will add only the price value, right? So like that, new item dot item. And then here we will be adding expense details page one dot edit grid dot new item dot. So what is the value that we have to add it here? Price. Okay, save. Perfect. Now close this. Then item modified. So for modifying the item, what we have to do is we have to update it. Whatever the entity that's there in the already, we have to update the entity record. So we have to take update entity record. And here we have to provide the ID of that particular record. So for that, again, the same syntax, because it's quite simple to follow the tree, because it's not that we have a syntax or we have to follow this. It's just that how you are taking this value is related to following the tree. So if you see here, and also we have to understand what it is expecting. Here it's expecting GUID, right? What ID we are using to refer that particular selected item. So in that particular tree, whatever the item that you have selected, every item will have a unique ID. So that ID I'm taking, and then I'm giving the record here. And what is the item value? Again, you can easily guess this. Just take a pause and guess the item value. Is this expense detail page dot edit grid dot selected item dot item. Okay, string. Then same thing. Expense page details dot edit grid dot selected item dot price. Perfect. Nice. So we're almost done. Let's do the last one, which is row deleted. So how do we actually delete a row? We have to delete the entity record. That's it. Delete the entity record. And which entity we are referring to? Budget app entity. And what is the ID? The same thing, like how we have taken it in the update, in the same way we have to delete. So for that, expense details page dot edit grid dot selected item dot ID. Okay. Just we have to keep following with the syntax that it is expecting. That's it. So just preview this. Now we would able to see the search, add option. We could able to successfully do it, edit and delete option. So let's quickly check that part as well. And also, if at all you want to learn about UiPath VB Apps, then you can definitely explore my channel. It has all the videos about it and a lot of content. You will definitely love it. So I'm clicking on show all expenses. It will show me all. So first thing what I'm going to do is I'm searching with food. What are the different food items are there, right? These three are there. So I'm just thinking that the 7,000 is a wrong entry. It should be 700. So I'm just changing this to 700. And then I am updating it. Perfect, updated, right? So let's do one more thing. I will change this to, let's check. So let's check laptop, okay? Laptop, I think that I have bought it for my friend, but unexpectedly I have made it in my expenses and I wanted to delete it. So let's delete it. Done. It's not deleted. Delete record. Done. No data is there now. Perfect. So now let's say I wanted to add one more record. I forgot to add. So let's say I bought one charger, which is for 2000 rupees. Okay. So just add the record. Then search it here. Should come. Perfect, perfect, right? So this is how you can actually use the edit grid. And there are a lot of other things that you can learn from edit grid. You can just follow up the video that I have referred just now. So that will definitely give you a clear understanding of how you can do all of these things. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something new. So if at all, do give a thumbs up and also follow my channel for more such updates, and also do keep practicing this content, so that you will definitely have great idea about what UiPath VB apps is. And if you're at all facing any issues, do let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye.